says that whatever's inside is highly contagious, so I'm going to have to be extra careful when going into this thing. Lord knows how long it's been out in space. Wish me luck.
We managed to get inside. We found this crate, nothing else. Just to say, whatever is dangerous is inside here. Let's take a look. Okay, this is great. We have some Star Wars DVDs. A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back. Oh no, it's Return of the Jedi. Empire Strikes Back. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith, whatever that means. And then a Star Wars Tazo Walker's Crisp Collection pack. Yeah, it looks to be complete. Oh, this is strong. And a couple of small items remaining. We have the micro machine tank roller and a Jar Jar Binks Lego character.
Yep, that is why I have not made a video on the Pterodome for such a long time. I had to decontaminate the entire ship because I stupidly decided to open up a pod that I found full of Star Wars merchandise. And that is deep space travel rule number 1. Do not open pods that contain Star Wars merchandise. This has been decontaminated now along with all the other stuff. And like I said, I had to decontaminate the entire ship. And this is a big ship. Actually, on that note, I had someone ask me a while back, I can't remember who, one of you out there, asked me how big is the Pterodome. So I've made this helpful graphic for you to put it into perspective. Here you go. I hope that helps. So yeah, where was I? Yeah, so it took a very long time to decontaminate the entire ship. And when I was doing it, I was actually reflecting on the idea of ideas being addictive. I kept thinking there's some ideas out there, specifically to do with movies. You know, I was cleaning up Star Wars crap all over the ship, so movies were on the mind. There's some ideas out there to do with movies that, you know, catch legs and then they run for years, even if they're not based in truth. The one that kept coming to mind was the Prometheus School of Running. You might have heard of this term. It refers to a scene in the movie Prometheus from 2012, where two characters are fleeing a ship that's rolling on the ground, and everyone likes to make the joke that they do not turn to move out of the way of this thing rolling in a straight line. But does it roll in a straight line? Okay guys, I've got the scene up here where, you know, Shaw and Vickers are watching in astonishment as the Prometheus ship slams into the side of the Juggernaut, and this insanely huge alien spacecraft falls from the sky and crashes on the ground. Now, just for future reference, this shot here, I want you to keep in mind the shape of this ship. This arm here, this right hand side arm, has this like elongated bit here, a round bit there. It's like this, okay? So please keep that in mind for future reference. And that falls to the ground, and we see that bit I just marked out slam onto the ground. There you go. There's like the big long tubular bit, and the rest of the shape of that arm of the Juggernaut, which hits the ground first. And then Shaw and Vickers look up as the other section of the ship starts to come down on top of them. So basically this horseshoe-shaped ship landed like on this bit, and then the other side rolled over to where Shaw and Vickers are, like that. and so they start to run. Now you can really see in this shot here the insane size of this ship. So they are tiny ants compared to this thing that's now falling down. So you've got to think of like speed here. It's something to keep in mind, because if you think of an ant trying to outrun your boot coming down on it, it's got a long way to travel, and your boot can reach it pretty quickly. Yeah, so then they start to run. And as we see here on this shot here, they're running and there's debris all falling around them. We have to bear in mind that they are running in a straight line, which is admittedly silly to do. But the surrounding area has debris falling here and here and here and here and all over the place. So them running in a straight line, I'm imagining these characters are thinking that they're just running like out of blind fear. And so they're not thinking I should go over to where that debris is falling, especially on the initial impact. But anyway, so then the shot continues and this piece of debris falls right close to them here because it's right up in frame, and you can just see their bubble helmets here and here, and that causes them to do this. They turn direction. Did you catch it? So just right here they turn to avoid the debris and turn away from the Juggernaut. Admittedly, this shot isn't the best framed. I can see how it's not exactly clear. If you were to watch this for the first time ever, you probably wouldn't even catch it. But watching this film on subsequent viewings, I started to notice, hang on a second, they do turn, don't they? And you can tell by the ship that's falling in this sort of direction, Shaw and Vickers are going to turn this way. And if you watch the fire and like the surrounding mountains and this clump of rocks here, when they turn, those change direction. Like this, you see, now we're seeing more of the fire. Those two boulders are over here. The mountains are pretty much gone. So they do in fact turn, and we get this close-up shot of them running. And this shot here is interesting because you've got Shaw and Vickers down here, and they are out of the shadow of the Juggernaut. The shadow is here, and the ship kind of looks like it's rolling in a kind of mid-direction. So the shadow is being cast here by the sun or wherever the light source is, and the Juggernaut is now sort of turning towards them. And there's this other close-up shot of them running, and then you see behind them the shadow of the Juggernaut, which previously they weren't in, is now giving chase and really catching up with them fast. Now you have to think from Shaw and Vickers' perspective, they're running for their lives, and they're not really turning around to really assess the situation behind them. And they want to stay out of the shadow. You think you're out of the shadow, you're not going to be hit by the thing, but then the shadow catches them. Shaw trips, and then the thing has now caught up with them. Shaw luckily manages to roll out of the way, and Vickers unfortunately meets her untimely end, scrambling for her life as this giant ship crushes her. Hang on a second, going back to the beginning, look at the ship. So I noticed this. This might also be a reason why there's a lot of confusion with this scene, and why it might subconsciously not feel right with people, as well as the running. But there's the elongated bit, there's the nubby bits, there's that arm, and this is the other one. And as we can see in the shot, it's rolling that way. But if we go back to the beginning and notice how it fell out of the sky, it should hit the ground with the elongated bit here. The other bit, so there's the long bit, we go around. This bit up here should roll over, and then it would be like this, and then that's the elongated bit, which is here, and then it would roll over again, and that means the elongated bit needs to be up on the opposite side. I mean, that's a bit of a crazy explanation, but this shot here should technically look like this. It should be rotated. So this shot of her being crushed should end on the ship being like this, because that's the right way round, I believe. It might be maybe the wrong way round. If I think about it, it might be the wrong way around this. Oh, what am I doing? Might need to flip it that way, but I don't know, I'd have to do some more research on that. Anyway, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. This is just covering the misconception, in my opinion, that the kind of gag, the Prometheus school of running, is not really based in fact, as funny as it can be to point out. And I do see people point it out on many videos to do with Prometheus, and it always sits funny with me because I'm like, they do turn in the film. But yeah, anyway guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below on this subject and any other subjects you want me to cover. And yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Now, I know I decontaminated this Star Wars stuff, but I want it off the ship.